You know something, guys? Just looking back on it, I never had a chance at all. What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Jaquan of Spazz Productions, and welcome to the new video series I like to call Spazz Stories. So since this is the very first episode on Spazz Stories, I thought I'd talk about something that I usually talk about anyways on this channel, and that's K-pop. You know, usually I hear a lot of stories about how people get into K-pop, and a lot of times it's, oh, well, a friend helped me get into it, or I just heard it on the radio and it was a popular song, or I saw a popular music video on YouTube. And I was thinking about my story, or I should say my conversion to K-pop, and I was realizing it wasn't really anything that simple. So with that being said, here is the story of how I got into K-pop. So what happened was one day I was being chased by a group of bullies, and we accidentally ran into a Super Junior concert, and we saw Super Junior, and it put us at peace, and we started holding hands and singing along, and that's how I got into K-pop. Now a lot of you are probably thinking, was that actually true? The answer to that question is absolutely not. That didn't happen at all. The reason why I told you that story is because in actuality, that story is a lot cooler than the story that I'm about to tell you. And also, I'm a very sarcastic person, so I wanted you guys to get a little bit of a feel of that. But I promise you, I'm about to make the story I'm about to tell you way more dramatic. So in reality, what actually happened was, when I was a wee lad, 1998, I was 4 years old, gives you a little bit of a clue of how old I am now. We moved into a neighborhood that was predominantly Asian. And in that neighborhood, there was tons of Koreans and tons of Japanese, and they had family and friends who would always come over and visit them from their home countries, and they would bring like goodies with them, like snacks or products from home, so they can still have a little bit of it here, because back then, I mean, we had products, but where I was at, it wasn't like a big thing to have like tons of stuff that would be used for in the Asian community. So I had a babysitter who was like 15, 16 at the time, and she had a younger brother who ended up becoming like one of my good friends, and his name was Lee. And I remember one day we were talking and sitting, and he comes up to me and he's like, "Yo, Jack." And I'm like, "Yo, Lee." So Lee is like, "Have you ever heard of S.E.S Taiji?" And I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "S.E.S Taiji." I'm like, is that some type of cake? And he's like, no. S.E.S Taiji and the boys. They're this happening group in Korea right now. I said, "Lee, let's be serious now. I'm 4 years old. I barely know my ABCs and my 1, 2, 3s. I don't even know all 50 states in the United States. I don't even know where Korea is at this point in time. How am I gonna know about a guy who lives there?" He's like, listen. That doesn't matter. All you need to know is you need to put these headphones on and listen to some of that good. Now, I just want to say, back then, we didn't talk like that. Like I said, I over-dramatize things. So that's how it's going to be for right now in the story. And I was like, no, I'm good. And then I just left. So over the years, as I kept getting older, and every time I was around my Korean friends, they would always try to get me to listen to K-pop. I mean, they would always make me listen to S.E.S Taiji, Turbo, H.O.T., G.O.D. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there was nothing wrong with those groups. I actually liked their music, but I didn't want to claim that I listened to K-pop. Reason being is because at that time, I was also into Japanese music, like Japanese rock and Japanese pop. And I remember I would always tell my friends that weren't Asian that I was into this stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, check out this new song." And they'd be like, "You like J-pop? Loser." And I just didn't want any more of that. I'm bad with confrontation. I don't like it. So I told myself, I said I would never cave in and I'd never give in. I'd be like the NRA and stick to my guns. But alas, I would eventually succumb. I remember it. It was 2006. I was sitting at home watching television, and I flipped to MTV, and MTV had like MTV Korea at that time. And as soon as I landed on MTV Korea, I remember the music video that I flipped onto. It was S.E.S. Dreams Do Come True. Now, I don't know what it was that was so different about that music video because, you know, it was around the same time as Turbo, same time as G.O.D., but for some reason, Bada and S.E.S. just rose so many emotions out of me. So I was like, nope, nope, nope. Gotta turn the TV off, left. But after that, shortly after that, I felt like my friends became to understand, or like they got some type of sense that I was hanging on by a thread. Because after that, I just started getting bombarded with tons and tons of K-pop related things. Like, they would always be showing me these music videos for Seotaji, Turbo, and all of them, but then they would also start showing me newer things like Girls' Generation, Brown Eyed Girls, One Time, TVXQ. And I was telling you guys, I was just getting bombarded. I was getting spear after spear, chokeslam after chokeslam, tombstone after tombstone. I was just getting all this K-pop content related stuff, and I was just trying to survive. And I was like, no. I told myself I wouldn't give in. I wouldn't throw the white flag. I must resist. And then boom. Lee, he, your, Ri. Guys, when I tell you I was captive, I was. I became a prisoner, and I became a slave to the rhythm of Daebak jams. And that is the story how I got into K-pop. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You know something, guys, just looking back on it, I never had a chance at all. Like, I didn't have a chance. Like, I wasn't going to survive this. Like, I was literally thrown into the inferno. Like, there was no way I could stop it. The majority of my friends were Korean and Japanese, but there was no way. There wasn't a way I could, you know, avoid it. But enough about me. I want to hear how you guys also got into K-pop as well. Leave your comments down below and tell me how you got into K-pop. Was it something similar to what I experienced, or was it something even crazier? Like, you know, a beam of light came down from the stars and told you K-pop is the music of the gods. I don't know, but just tell me how it happened. But honestly, guys, looking back on it, now that I've kind of died down a little bit on it and I've just become more into just music overall, I remember that there was a huge time in my life where I was heavily obsessed with K-pop. But I think that is a story for another day.